I'm here on the navigation bridge here on Battleship Texas with Mike, who's an awesome volunteer. He's going to give us a lot of information about what goes on here in this cabin as well as some other places right behind it. I'm Trevzor, and this is Talking Ship. So, Mike, we're here in the navigation bridge, and we were told yesterday when we first came in here that this is the site of the only combat fatality that happened on Battleship Texas. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened there?
The fatality was Seaman Chris Christensen was standing right here as the helmsman. He was controlling the ship using this trolley-type device here. This is hydraulic steering as opposed to the electric steering on the helm, which is much tougher. He was standing here as they were off Cherbourg, trying to take the port, protect the army who was coming up the Cherbourg Peninsula. They took a great many shells around the ship all day long. One German 240-millimeter shell landed on top of the armored conning tower directly below us.
Okay.
It blew upwards and basically took out this entire deck, killed Chris instantly, injured another dozen men up here. The captain was out on the bridge wing at the time, so he was knocked cold, woke up, and immediately went back in control. The ship never lost a beat in the fight. They transferred control down below decks, finished the mission, and continued as you would expect a warship to do.
Fantastic. So it sounds like you've got multiple areas of control on the ship, but we have a lot of controls in here. What do these all do? You said we have electric steering as well as hydraulic steering, but what...
Well, this is what, of course, you see in all the war movies, all the head full and reading it down like this.
Sure.
What that does when you do this, it sends a signal down to the engine room and the boiler room. Stand by, get ready for your steam to take up more turns on the propellers for more speed. All head full may mean 18 knots, 22 knots.
Sure.
What then happens is the quartermaster knows that the captain will call for 20 knots. The quartermaster knows turns for 20 knots is so much. He cranks the number of turns in right here, hits the send button down to the engine room and the boiler room, and they make the necessary turns for the speed that they need.
Wow. So there's a lot more steps than just throwing the telegraph and hoping for the best, right?
The war movies don't tell it all.
I feel like it's a little bit more complicated and probably maybe not as great for movies to see the adjustments, but that's actually super important. Like you set your turns and then you're going, as opposed to just saying like 20 knots go.
Yes, all ahead full is a range of speeds.
Okay.
Of course, in which direction do you go? We do have the binnacle up here, big compass. In two cases, we have the wind speed, we have the water under the hull, we have all kinds of instrumentation up here. Through it all, we do have the chart right behind us. You see on the chart table, which is most important. We got to know where we're going and how to get there. One thing about that, at nighttime, the chart's in color. Therefore, you have to have white light on it. They'll stream a curtain around the chart table.
Wow.
Everything else is in red.
It's in red, so you can't see it, right?
Exactly.
Fantastic. And since this ship was commissioned in World War I, you didn't have anything like those fancy dead reckoning trackers. You were doing this all by hand.
This was using the various hand instruments, which hopefully sailors are learning today. They're getting back to using sextants, I do understand. But yes, indeed, it was all dead reckoning, following the stars, following the sun.
That's very, very impressive. And this being the spot where everything's happening in terms of moving the ship, I imagine Captain's going to be here as well.
He is indeed. Matter of fact, the captain's cabin is luxurious by ship standards, but it's down below. Once the ship shifts colors, the lines go over and we go to sea, the captain basically moves to his sea cabin, which is right behind the bridge, down a very short ladder, and that's where he lives when we're at sea. He's got to be immediately available to the bridge.
So he steps away.
He steps away. There's always an officer of the deck on duty up here. If he starts running into problems of any sort, something unusual happens, they call the captain up here.
Wow.
Because no matter what happens, if he's asleep or awake, if something bad happens, he is still in charge. He's responsible.
He's responsible for everything.
For everything.
And so you don't get much sleep when you're a captain.
You need to sleep bit by bit. The bridge is also connected with the bridge radio room right behind here.
Okay.
And the chart house, which is back there. where I have all the charts laid out, all the information you need. When the ship was first built, 1914, on the commissioning, this bridge was much smaller than it is now, and it was open to the elements. It had a canvas roof over it.
That sounds miserable.
North Sea in wintertime, that had to be awful. By the end of World War I, they had enclosed it, had little bridge wings on the side. Early 1920s, when they refitted the ship, they expanded the bridge this size and put the catwalk around to the outside. It was after this incident at Cherbourg, when we had the explosion, that they did final remodeling on the bridge, and we got the round portholes.
Sure.
Before that, they were square. You can kind of see the shape of the original portholes
Yeah.
up there. So all that was done in 1944.
Okay.
And brought us up to this point right here.
So I noticed these when we walked in. What is the benefit of round, smaller portholes than these big square ones?
That is an answer that I think goes back to sailors themselves, just trying to keep them cleaned off as they're truly. Beyond that, I cannot give you a really good
That's fair. There's nothing wrong with that. I think if it makes our job easier, then we should definitely do it, right?
Well, everything on this ship is aimed toward getting the ship where it can put its armament on target.
Yeah. So if you can't see, you're not doing that.
That's it exactly.
So that makes total sense. Thank you so much for all this information, Mike. It was great talking to you.
My pleasure indeed.
Indeed. And thank you guys for watching. This has been Talking Ship. Good luck, fair seas, and we'll see you out there. Remember, everybody, Battleship Texas needs your help.
Yes, come visit her or go to our website, battleshiptexas.org, battleshiptexas.org.